Good afternoon, Freedom Inc. family. As you know, there are rioting again in Minneapolis because some cop shot some kid. There's all kinds of issues with this. Starting with number one, if you take a position, no matter what that position is, but let's just say, for instance, I'm not going to allow a cop to arrest me when I believe that I haven't done anything wrong. Whether you're right or wrong doesn't matter. If that's the stance that you're going to take, you don't stop, get out of the vehicle, have interaction with the cop and shit, and then decide to leave. No, you draw that line and you stay on that damn line. I'm not telling you to break the law, so don't go, when you get caught breaking the law, don't say, well, Freedom Inc. told me to. I'm just saying, you take your stance and stand it. If you choose to carry a firearm without government's permission, if you get pulled over and they find that firearm, you already know what's going to happen. So you have to take your stance and accept the consequences of that stance. Don't bitch out on it when the time comes. And because what happens is when you bitch out, you decide to carry a firearm, my government doesn't rule me. And then when you allow them to kidnap you for carrying a firearm when you haven't committed no crime, you empower the criminals to do it to the next person. With this shooting in Minneapolis, what we've now seen the chief of police or whatever he is, and the female officer that shot this kid. Forget about whether he was right or wrong. Doesn't even matter for this conversation. But they resign in hopes to not be prosecuted. And that's what it is. These people, now, if you're going to play them as they are the heroes of society. They keep us safe. Well, when they fuck up, then they should have to be the shining example of what's, if how do I want to say this? They should go above and beyond. They should be held to a higher standard. So if, for instance, one person shoots another person, whatever that person would get, a cop should get worse. Personally, I believe a cop that, number one, you already know my feelings about the police forces. But if we're going to have police forces, I believe that any crime that they commit under the color of law should hold a death penalty. Period. If you want that power, we're going to give it to you. But when you fuck up, we're going to burn you. I'm sorry to cuss. I'm pissed off. Because we have all these people up there that are bitches, and that's what they are. Rioting, looting, burning, destroying private property, hurting innocent people because for justice is what they say. Is it really because of justice? No, it's not. It's an excuse to do what they otherwise wouldn't do because they're cowards. That's what it is. If you want to go riot, loot, and burn some shit, then go do it. Whatever. Do your thing, boo-boo. But don't do it when there's a group of people around you because you feel protected and that you won't get in trouble for it, or you won't have to face any more so you won't have to face any repercussions for your actions. If I was a private business owner up there, oh man, we'd be putting ventilation holes in everybody. I'd be daring somebody to screw with my shit. Flat out, I would. I'd be standing out in the street daring somebody. I'd put a sign up. I dare you to touch my shit. But they won't do it up there. Why they won't do it, I have no clue. I guess because they fear the truth. And the truth is the government will prosecute them for protecting the things that they've worked hard for in life, but won't prosecute those who try to destroy that shit. We've seen all this before throughout history. We've seen it. We know where it's going. We now have a nation of people that are call your senator type of people. They believe that the federal government has control over the states. The federal government now rules over the states. From here on out, you will see it progressively get worse. Sorry, I can't breathe through my nose again. You'll see it progressively get worse where the federal government eventually federalizes all police forces, and then the federal government will completely rule over the states and create all laws, which they've already done, but to a certain degree. They haven't come out and said it, but that's what they've done. And people buy into it. That's why it's call your senator, call your representative. Instead of screw them, Ohio's sovereign. We don't care what the federal government does. And all this rioting and shit plays into it. Do you think that it's being allowed to happen? I do. 100% I do. They're not only allowing it, they're encouraging it and even promoting it. Why? How are they doing that, Freedom? Because they are punishing those who are acting in a moral fashion and letting those who are immoral do whatever they want to do. And in the end, it's just government pitting us against each other. The truth is that I guarantee you, listen, I'll bet a leg. Anybody want to bet? I'll bet a leg. I guarantee you that there's not one person out there that is looting, rioting, tearing shit up that is 100% responsible for their own lives, meaning that they feed themselves, they get up and go to work, they don't count on anybody else to ensure their own survival. The unproductive had destroyed this country. We've allowed the unproductive to outnumber the productive, and it's all downhill from here, folks. All bad. Combine that with the masses who believe that they support freedom and rights, and the Constitution for that matter, knowing nothing about any of those things, and you have the perfect storm for what will become a communist state completely. We're already diving into communism, as I said the other day. People are like just now thinking that socialism just showed its ugly face around the corner. We're on our way out of socialism, on our way deep into communism. I mean, the welfare state, socialism. Allowing everybody to have a vote, even if they are not productive. That's democracy, but it ties into socialism. Either way, it's evil. Is evil destroying this country? Yeah, it is 100%. I don't think it's like, there's the people that are on the satanic, Luciferian, whatever, all that bullshit. I'm not saying these people are not evil. I'm not saying they're not guided by evil. What I am saying is that man is inherently evil. That's why you don't trust anybody. People are out for themselves, especially today. In the 40s, we were one unit. Everybody worked for the most part to ensure your own survival. But when you let rats breed, and they take over whatever ship they're on, and they've taken this ship over. All downhill, folks. As for the police forces out there, policing forces, you oath takers, if you have taken an oath and you don't have, if somebody cannot stand there and say, what does Article 2, Section 1 say in the Constitution? And you don't have just at least a basic ideal, you have failed in your duty to that oath. If you're one of these guys that took an oath, but you never even read the Constitution cover to cover, you have failed. Even more so than that, your oath is actually to the state, as I've always exclaimed, that the oath is to the state, not the Constitution, not freedom, none of that shit. It's a total lie. It's bullshit. It's logic fallacy and virtue signaling. Well, I took an oath, and you violated that oath. Good for you. But expect it to get worse. If you have some property somewhere and some assholes try to do some shit and destroy what you've worked hard for, take care of your business. I don't give a shit who it is. I don't give a shit if it's the rioters that are just looting and rioting to be dickheads, or some bastard in a costume who says they have some kind of authority over you. Take care of your business.